Hello, 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 and welcome to the Less Podcast Show, the show that is rated R for real and not PG for playing games. I am one of your hosts, the Boss Lady.
And I'm the D.O.C.
Join us for our weekly conversations about life, culture, and everything else. What do we always say? Get to know us, get to love us. Before we jump into this episode, it is sponsored by Cigar Junkies and CJS Educational Services, so make sure you continue to check out our merch. Shout out to Miss Nichols for highlighting our merchandise, the socks, the shirts, looking all good. Thank you for supporting us. So just had to get that quick shout out.
Shout out to everybody, all the supporters.
Yes, all the supporters. Yes. Before we jump into this episode, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. This week has been good, man. It's been a good week, you know what I'm saying? We got the election coming up. So next time we see y'all, we're going to know who the next president is.
Yes. I hope that people vote. Before we get into the hot topic, I really hope that people vote. There is no reason why you should not vote. So,
hey, like I tell people, I was talking to a guy really quickly, and I get it. If you don't like the Harris or you don't like Trump, but say you don't vote for the presidential election, you still need to be voting at your state and your local elections.
Yeah.
So your judges, your council people, your state reps.
These are the people that make it happen.
Your U.S. those are the people that directly impact. So vote for those people. Vote, man.
Yes. I said this earlier that I watched a video where this lady said that back in 1960, she said they were charging black people to vote and white people didn't have to pay anything. And that don't sound like a lot. She said they had to pay $2 to vote.
You didn't know that? It was called a poll tax.
Yeah. You learned about it when you were in high school. You learned about it in history, but then nobody ever talks about it. So to hear this black lady say that she was a person that actually,
Voting Rights Act, I think, of 1964, Civil Rights Act of 1965.
And so she was just so excited to still be alive today to actually vote.
No doubt.
And it's free. And that was the one thing she said, it's free. Why wouldn't you vote? So, okay, enough about that. Hot topics. Before we get into anything, since we kind of on this trajectory, I want to give a shout out to an up-and-coming star in our family. And that is Mr. KJ Emerson Tenor, or Emerson KJ Tenor, who I happened to come home and catch part of his first game with West Virginia. And it was dope. I'm not gonna lie. It was dope to see him on TV. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to definitely his mom, definitely Marquisha, definitely Markel, his dad. And definitely his whole support, the whole unit, everybody who actually support him there in Memphis and West Virginia and things of that nature. Because I tell you this, it's a really good feeling when you see a little kid that had been dribbling a ball for so many years really get to this level. And so I ain't gonna lie, it was just really, it was really dope to come home and see my little cuz on the screen.
Oh, no doubt. It's just cool to see. Yeah. But that's the whole thing about trusting the process. Yeah. You've seen it from beginning to end. To see this kid start off, at the beginning of AAU and watch him progress.
Yes.
All the way to D1. He won Mr. Tennessee, top basketball player for 4A in the state of Tennessee. Now he's D1 playing in the Big 12 at West Virginia.
And for those who don't know, his brother actually used to play basketball too and used to be really, really good. And now he has a clothing line, I believe it's called The Lost Ticket.
Yeah.
So, just shout out. It's just real good. I heard the name Tenor on TV. And like D.O.C. saying, it wasn't for going to jail, wasn't for nothing bad, no murder.
No breaking news.
Yes, and they just kept saying Tenor. They just kept saying, so it just really felt, for those that don't know, my maiden name was Tenor. So it just really felt good to hear my last name, our last name on the screen. So shout out. On ESPN at that. So shout out.
No
just shout out to the whole unit. Next hot topic. Now this is a little bit different, and I hate to, bring this down, but it's just coincidence. Quincy Jones passing, and And Diddy 55th birthday. I don't know which one you want to.
Why would you bring Diddy up on the same day as Quincy Jones?
I'm just saying I didn't realize.
Quincy Jones didn't have to drug bitches and beat bitches. Quincy Jones was the ultimate.
Okay, well, let me rewind.
I'm just saying.
Okay, Quincy Jones passing. Legendary. A legend. Like
Quincy Jones is. We don't bring that nigga up in the same space as Quincy Jones, man.
Quincy Jones passed, and I was shocked to hear that he had passed. Yeah, if you ever watched,
he was shocked.
I mean, he was 90-something years old, but you still shocked though, D.O.C. It doesn't matter if they 90, 95. It's still shocking when you hear they actually passed away, like they finally passed away. Well, not finally passed away, because that don't sound right either. I'm just going to be quiet, because Quincy Jones, legend. What you got to say?
Man. I mean, he's a legendary. I mean, the guy spanned music for like, 50, 60 years? Probably longer than that. Maybe 70 years.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe 80 years, because he had been playing since he was a little kid.
Yeah, I agree.
And from the south side of Chicago, a hustler. And he went all the way through. He was doing shit when niggas wasn't really supposed to be doing shit like that with Frank Sinatra, Dean, and all those guys. So he did his thing, man. So legendary. So he lived a full life, let me tell you. Mm-hmm. He loved the snow bunnies too. But he lived
you just had to throw in. You talking about me? You just had to throw in the fact that he liked white women.
He loved white women.
You know what? All right, y'all. Well, again, heart still goes out to his family and all those. He has made a significant contribution to the world of entertainment, specifically music.
Shout out to Quincy Jones.
Shout out to Quincy Jones, leaving it at that. All right, so that takes us from our appetizer to our entree, because y'all know we serve up 3-course meals, right? So we on our entree. So we've been talking about this book of game, 20 years, 20 chapters. Let's just rattle off the first 5 chapters real quick. So chapter 1, loyalty. Chapter 2, intimacy and sex. Chapter 3, finances. Chapter 4, communication, understanding, and learning how to compromise. Chapter 5 was keeping your relationship private and surrounding yourself with positivity. And chapter 6, again, in no order of importance, but I think it's really important that we pause and kind of talk about this, because this happens to a lot of people, and that is navigating conflict. How to fight fair in a relationship. Because I'm going to tell you something. All 365 days, you don't necessarily get along. It ain't all peachy. Sometimes you fight. Sometimes you go at it, and that happens. And I'm not even sitting here saying it like a ghetto person when I say that, but it happens. So how do you navigate that? How do you navigate? Because learning how to navigate those conflicts is, it's essential in maintaining a healthy relationship. But on the flip side of that, how do you navigate conflict in relationships?
Well, I think for one, conflict is inevitable.
That's true.
In a relationship. True. I think the true test of a relationship is how you get through conflict, whether it's internal or external conflict, whether you come together to solve a problem, fight against something, or you two got something going on. But I think initially, one thing is how you get through it is that you learn quickly that it ain't about winners and losers. Mm. Because if you have that zero-sum sort of type of mentality where you're trying to destroy this person or win, then that's going to have ripple effects throughout your relationship.
That's true.
On how you communicate and things like that. So you learn that quickly, that it's not about that. You know what I'm saying? There's sometimes it goes back to the conversation a couple weeks ago when you talk about that's when you learn to compromise.
Yep.
And so, but I think that's how you navigate conflict. The other thing is you got to be willing to be an active listener. Sometimes you got to listen to shit.
You must look at my list.
No, you got to listen to shit that you don't want to hear, and you can't be dismissive, even if you think that person's standing on bullshit. Okay. So you can't be dismissive. You at least got to listen to it and hear it out, and then you can let them know whether you agree or disagree. And then there's gonna be some things where you disagree with.
You're still gonna disagree.
You have to agree to disagree and then move on.
That's true.
Unless it's what part of your non-negotiables.
That's true. So for this one, I actually looked up some stuff because I wanted to. Here you go. I did. I looked up some stuff just to see, like, when I think about what we've gone through as far as conflict, you know, I actually just wanted to compare kind of things that we've gone through to what the experts say are the techniques for handling conflict, disagreement, but at the same time, how to actually, as they say, foster growth at the same time. And so I want to riddle off some of these, and I just want to get your quick opinion about these. So you started off with active listening, and that was actually the first one that they said. The list of experts said active listening. And they say truly hearing your partner's concern without interrupting. That's key, without interrupting, because we have a bad habit of interrupting. Or planning your response helps both partners feel understood. So I want you to think about a time back when you may have, how can I say it? May have not been an active listener. And what was that situation like?
Probably something to deal with the kids. So I had my way of handling the situation. You had your way. And I'm like, all right, I heard that, but I'm still doing this. Because I think that this is going to work, and I think this is what needs to be done as the man of the house type of deal. So that can cause conflict or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
But that would be one. Yeah,
I agree. Like I said, a lot of our conflict honestly came from just how we parent. I think for for the most part, we didn't really, and we still don't to this day. We really don't. I mean, marital type stuff, but I'm just talking about the stuff that was consistent. That wasn't the key. You don't think that most of our conflict?
I mean, we keep it real on this, right?
Yeah.
Another one used to be social media.
Oh yeah.
Okay. You used to get mad at certain posts or me liking certain pictures and things like that. That used to cause conflict.
Well, not certain things. It was women.
Yeah.
It was all the big asses and shit. Like, soon as I would look, you already liked it.
So my thing is, what am I supposed to like a nigga with his shirt off?
It was just like, damn, how many asses do you need to see and like to have a fulfilled day?
They going through the thing.
1 million? I guess 1 million.
That's what's going on my reel.
I guess 1 million. But yes, that used to bother me. It don't really bother me now, but it did used to bother me.
They got into conflict about that.
It did.
I thought that was utterly ridiculous.
It did. And it may have been. But at that level,
I never try to monitor.
But at that level of maturity, at that stage in our relationship, to me, that was important. So that's also part of just growing, is that you learn that some things that are petty and things of that nature, you learn to let some stuff go. You do when you think about conflict. For me, I was just like, you know what? This dude like women. What can I say? All men like women. Most men like women. Most men like looking at. Just the same as women. We look at the same shit. So it was just one of them. How's you getting upset because he liking the pictures?
I'm not DMing them the bitches.
I'm like, I still lay next to him and hear him snoring. So what? I'm not losing anything. So hey, it is what it is. All right. Strategy number 2: staying calm and being respectful. Because when conflict comes, emotions run high, and that calm goes out, and people get to getting disrespectful. What's your thoughts on that? How do you handle not crossing a disrespectful line when you're trying to handle conflict in a relationship? Just quickly to do it.
Well, at this stage, of course, I don't engage in that. Well, you don't engage. You try not to personalize it like that, because you still want to build and grow. Now, if this is a person that you see that this relationship is going in a different direction, that's when people start to do what I call self-sabotage. They're personally throwing grenades in the shit. But if you're really trying to build it with this person, why would you throw a grenade?
That's true.
Why would you do that? Why would you do something that say something that you know is going to hurt that person like that? Why would
is there any such thing that can happen by accident? Is that a such thing?
Oh, yeah. You can say some stuff and then you're like, damn,
because you're in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, I ain't
and it come across.
Like that. Yeah.
I've had that happen.
Oh, yeah. We both have said some things we've regretted.
Yeah, and you come back and you're like, damn, I done said it now. I can't, it ain't nothing I can do besides now try to repair. But yeah.
You one of them motherfucking haters. You one of them motherfucking haters. I told you the haters is close, baby.
So yes, all you can do is I ain't gonna lie, all you really can do is tuck your tail between your legs and be apologetic, and that's it. That's it. It ain't no excuse for saying some shit that you ain't supposed to say.
Yeah, but I know now. I'm a cool, calm nigga. You gotta really
now.
And I know what to say to get it, but I don't do that because I'm not trying to destroy that person.
Yeah, it's like that shit I'm seeing on social media now.
I'm not trying to do that.
I think it's called Suspect. And it's like these people, they'll be running and they'll say suspect and they'll say something personal. Like, for instance, the little girl was doing her mom. And the girl was like, suspect. She was like, yeah, my mama got 2 baby daddies and no man. And then she was like, suspect. My mama got a big old, fake old booty. So it's like...
Yeah, we don't
do shit like that. Like, we're not gonna get cutthroat. We know what bodies are buried, but we're not digging up bodies in an argument to hurt the other person. I'm not doing it. Ain't that serious? Okay, next technique. Focus on the present. One of the things that the experts say is don't bring up past conflicts in a present conflict. Try to stay on the issue at hand and to prevent the discussion from derailing into unrelated grievances. And I'm gonna say this, I'm guilty of this. I ain't gonna lie, I have been in the past, I have been guilty of this. We're on argument B, and I'm gonna bring up some shit from
literally 20 years ago.
I may bring up some past shit and try to intertwine it into my defense, I guess, in the argument. And I've learned that is just so counterproductive, honestly. All it does is keep opening up old wounds and keep bringing up old feelings. And all it does is just keep you stuck in this rut. So I've learned, and then it shows that you haven't moved on, like you say you had. Like, you're like, I don't give a fuck about that, but every argument you bring it up, you still give a fuck.
That's one thing I would say in relationships, because all relationships go through some stuff. And one thing and I would say this for the ladies. I'm talking to the ladies.
Y'all.
And y'all do this, and she just admitted. If you gonna tell a guy that we're gonna try to work our way through this shit, you have to truly mean that. You can't keep holding that shit on against him. And I see that in some relationships where people went through some real shit. And I'm not saying that she shouldn't feel, but if you saying that we're trying to work through this, every day you can't keep beating this nigga over the head. Because at some point, he gonna be like, you know what?
I'm done.
It's better for me, my mental, that I just exit from this and let you do what you... Because you're gonna be angry for the rest of the duration of this thing, and I don't want to be in this. It's better for me to let you go and do your thing and me do my thing than for me to be in a situation where you're creating negative energy directed at me.
And we've had that. That was a conversation we've had a long time ago. One of them where it's just like, if it's easier for your well-being, for you not to be with me, then let's figure that out. And let's talk about that. It may be hurtful, but if that's the only way we can get out of this conflict is for you to go your way and I go my way, then hey, we need to talk about that. That's serious. I can't tell you the last time we ever had that conversation. It's been years ago, but we've had it. We being real with y'all. We've had it. We ain't perfect. Next solution. Next tip that they give. Collaborate on solutions. They say a lot of reasons why problems in relationships don't get fixed because people don't take let us fix it. I'm right, you're wrong, instead of like, let us try to work on this together. Let us try to solve this problem together. And I think that's really huge too, because it's like, if there's a problem in your relationship, like if I got a problem with him, but I never talked to him about that problem, how am I creating a solution? How am I really creating a solution if I don't stop and be like, how can we fix this together? And he know, I ain't gonna lie, I'm more of a wuss when it comes to that type of stuff. I will wave my white flag sometimes sooner with that. And I just be like, look here, this is the problem. How we gonna get past it? Don't I do that a lot of times?
Send me a whole bunch of articles and
whatever I do it. But the whole point is, let us get to the point. How do we fix this? I don't want to keep festering about what's wrong. How do we fix this? Like, come on. Who needs to apologize first to move on? Next thing, choosing your battles. One thing that they say is that when you're dealing with conflict and fighting fair, choose your battles, meaning that every disagreement don't need to be a drawn out discussion. If there's an issue, identify the fucking issue and move on. But literally, to make everything that y'all go through
I had a nigga, man. I used to watch him, and I stopped hanging out with them because every time I see him, he was getting into it with his girl about every fucking little thing. I'm like, damn, G.
Yes.
Like, she could say something, and he misinterprets the shit. And then he going off on the deep end.
Everything.
Motherfucker, it was like, damn, G. Like, damn. Everything. I used to tell the nigga, like, you gonna either be with it or not. But all this extra shit, fam, you taking yourself and her through this shit, and you wonder why you ain't getting no pussy. Damn, nigga, I wouldn't
like everything. Ain't got to be an argument. Like, what TV show y'all watch? That don't have to be an argument. What we going for dinner? Ain't got to be an argument.
Oh, so I watch your shows with you, and you don't want to watch my shows with me.
Nah, I didn't kind of get you cheat on me with the TV shows, but it don't turn into no drawn out discussion.
Yeah, I'm not about to be arguing with a nigga about because I watched motherfucking Tulsa King.
But women and again, men, choose your battles wisely. Women, choose your battles wisely. Everything that's going on don't necessarily have to have a negative connotation to it. It's not always something negative or bad. Sometimes the nigga just dumb because he dumb. He ain't got nothing to do with another girl.
With guys is that I would say with people is, sorry to cut you off, is stop going to war with your partner.
Like, oh yeah, some people go to war.
Some of the energy that you direct at your partner, you don't direct at your boss like that.
That is true.
You don't direct at the niggas that you know that are hating at you, but you direct it at this person. Don't display the anger that you have for them motherfuckers onto that person. So don't go to war with your partner.
I had to learn that.
Don't do that shit.
I had to learn. It's been a couple of times that I have been heated, and literally the D.O.C. has literally had to say, "Hey, leave that at work." Leave that energy at work. Because if you didn't have this energy when you had this discussion with your supervisor or whoever, don't come home and beat me up. I'm not the puncher bag. So you got to be careful with that. You do have to be careful with that. Another thing, the last thing that they said that is one thing that can help with getting through conflict, fighting fair, and all that is the concept of apologizing and forgiving. And I would tell you this, and call me hypersensitive, but to me, the simple "I'm sorry" goes a long way to mend a hurt feeling. And that goes with friends, that goes with family, that goes with coworkers, that goes with a lot of fucking people. We pride ourselves on, I ain't saying shit. I ain't saying it till you say it first. That shit can lead into some hurtful shit. Holding grudges, that only keep the shit going. If we gonna keep holding grudges, we can't do that. So D.O.C., apologizing and forgive. That's something you can do easily.
I know that's something I've had to work on over the years. I mean, I'm just, to me, apologizing, it's just like a bit of guilt. Like you snitching on yourself or something. So I'm
glad he finally said this after 30 years of us being together.
So it'd be hard for me, but I have gotten a lot better with it.
It only takes 24 hours.
Not only her, I apologize to other people that I may have wronged and cursed out and said some ill will shit to.
It only takes minimum 24 hours.
I've gotten. Yeah, it may take 20 years for me to get to it, and I apologize, but I get to it.
It may take 48 hours for an apology, but
I'm talking about for other people, it may take 20 years, but I get to it. Yeah. But I operate a little bit different, you know what I'm saying? But I've gotten better with that, but apologies do go a long way.
It does, especially in a relationship.
And I need to get better with that.
This don't matter whether it's girl, boy, it does not fucking matter. This goes for friends. I have seen people lose valuable friendships. I'm talking about like friendships, solid friendships, because a motherfucker said something or did something and just don't want to say I'm sorry. Yeah. And this is the thing. You don't have to forget. You don't have to forget. But I always say forgiveness is the key step in trying to move forward. If you saying
atonement and reconciliation.
I'm gonna tell you something about this dude. And I'm gonna pause for a hot second because what he just said. Say it again for those who didn't hear.
Atonement and reconciliation.
And briefly explain what that is for those who may not know what atonement and reconciliation is.
You put me on the spot.
I am.
So atonement.
Come on, DC. You like talking. Come on.
Atoning means that you've wronged someone and you go to that person and you inform them of what you did and asking for their forgiveness. And they may or may not accept it. And if they do, and then you begin the reconciliation process, whatever that is, to show that you will not engage in that same type of behavior again, that you're going forward, you're going to become a better version of yourself.
I met him in 1998, and he was using those two terms on me back then. I heard him say those two terms back in 1998 when I first met him. Yeah. And at first, I really didn't understand that whole concept of it, but I do. And I have. And I've learned to get to the point where I can automatically atone for things that I have done, and I can automatically know how to reconciliate the things that I may have done. And I've gotten quicker with it in our relationship. Before, it was hard for me to admit if I said something or did something wrong. I'd be like, well, shit, I said it. It is what it is. Yeah. Shit, that's not
that's not my theory. I got that, believe it or not, when I attended the Million Man March in 1995. That's the Honorable Minister Farrakhan. That was that's his part of his message that he gives. So
something that's
what I got out of it. Yeah,
something that he teaches the kids. Even when, because this the thing, as parents, you're going to have conflict with your kids. You're going to have arguments with your kids. It's going to be times when some shit was said from a parent to a child and vice versa, where you got to pause for a hot second. You got to be like, hold on, this is my kid. And hold on. We got to begin this process of atoning for what just happened, what was just said. So those two things, a lot of people don't really understand. And I think if a lot of people understood that, they would do better with what they do to people and how they do things to people. Because you just, especially in a relationship.
It's never too late to say you're sorry, apologize, and begin the healing process.
Yes, and that's even in a relationship. If it's something that this nigga mad at you that you did 20 years ago and you never apologized for it, but y'all still together, and every blue moon he still bring that shit up, apologize for that shit.
There are some motherfuckers that you can't atone. And there's no reconciliation. And you draw the line in the sand with their ass. So
let me ask you two questions real quick. Can conflict actually be helpful in a relationship?
Yeah, it's very helpful.
Okay. In what way? What's the one major way?
The one way I always tell people is it's two things. It's internal conflict and external. The first one, the easy way, is external. That's how you and your partner get together and battle a particular threat from the outside. It can be whatever it is. It can be job related. It could be whatever that threat is. And y'all come together to solve that problem. And y'all become a stronger unit because y'all never had to go through nothing like that.
Yep.
All right, so that's one. That's conflict. The external conflict is when y'all go through some heavy shit. Like we talked about it in previous episodes where we went through earlier stages in our marriage. We went through problems and we had to go see a marriage counselor. That's conflict.
It is.
And we were willing to work our way through that sort of thing. So yes, I've experienced internal and external conflict. And it's healthy if both parties are willing to work. And this is what I said in a couple episodes before, is that with this younger generation of people that's getting married, they run from conflict quick.
Yeah.
Like there's nobody. There's no domestic violence. There's no cheating. There's no financial improprieties. There's no substance abuse. They just not clicking, and because they not clicking, they say fuck it. They give up, and they don't want to work through and figure out why they're not clicking, so they can start clicking. It's like a car. If you really want this car and you like this car, you're going to do what you got to do to get it fucking running. If that means that you got to get a whole new engine and transmission, you're going to do what you got to do.
I say enough of these young couples don't struggle together.
They don't want to.
I'm going to tell you something, and I'm humbly saying this. When you struggle with a person financially and all that together, like y'all go through being poor together, y'all go through not having shit, y'all go through losing shit, y'all go through trying to figure it out, when y'all go through that, it helps. That shit really helps our relationship. And I'm not saying that it's because we struggled, but we've gone through enough to know, like,
life. We went through life.
Exactly.
Everybody goes through life.
Last question about this. What is we talked about a lot of different strategies. So, like, being an active listener, focus on present, different things like this. What do you think is your strategy for resolving conflict in a healthy way? And this could be not just in our relationship. This could be at work, whatever, with friends. What's your go-to strategy for trying to resolve conflict in a healthy way?
First thing I do is shut up and listen. As a guy, as a man, Because women like to go back and forth. Don't do that. I don't engage with her on text messages back and forth. She gonna beat me at that.
He will leave me.
I don't go back and forth. Like what people tell you this. I don't motherfucking lip wrestle with people. I don't lip wrestle with people. So I listen. So the first thing to get through it is active listening. Hearing what this person is talking about with the narrative. Because it could be something that they misinterpreted something. True. So the first thing I do is listening. I don't do all that lip wrestling. So I don't do that shit, man.
It's like that's your only strategy, active listening. Do you have any other strategies that you try to go to avoid? What about at work? Because I know everything is about relationship, but I'm just talking about outside of our relationship. What strategies do you use for resolving conflict in a healthy way? Because you can't go to work and cuss people out. So, like, if you have conflict outside of your relationship, how do you resolve conflict outside of our relationship? Let me.
Well, I'll tell you this at work. It's really simple. Just using my HR background, follow the administrative protocol. If you have a problem with somebody, the first step to try to resolve that is a one-on-one informal conversation with that person. If that shit don't work, then you talk to that person's supervisor. If that shit don't work, then you get motherfucking HR involved. And you go from there. You try not to do that. But yeah, the other thing is knowing your strengths and weaknesses, knowing what you're good at, what you're not good at. True. That keeps you out of situation. Okay. Not speaking on things you don't know about. That's keeps true. You in situation. That's true. Remaining private. One thing how I get out of conflict, I learned this because I got into conflict with people. I was sharing too much about myself, meaning my politics and things like that. And I found out the motherfuckers didn't like my politics. So and that got like you. So now they don't like me. So you have to be, so that's another reason why I'm very private is that my politics. And so you want to make sure that, because people will use those things against you or what have you. So that's how I invite. I just do my work. I don't compromise myself as a man. I've never had problems working in this shit. So
for me, my strategies when it comes to our relationship, when it comes to shit like that, I try to be an active listener. I do try to listen. That could be hard at times because I'm already ready to talk. But I do try to be an active listener. One thing I try to do is I try to stay calm because for me, when I get emotional, my voice gets very high pitched. And it sounds like I'm hollering. Even if I'm not hollering, my voice sounds like that. So for me, I try to stay calm. And then the last thing, I really do try to figure out how we can fix this shit together. And I do try to apologize. I do. I am quick to, I would send a text saying I'm sorry. I would try to get up in the morning and say, hey, my fault for overreacting or whatever. But I do try to apologize. At work, I tell you, resolving conflict, I'm just learning that sometimes it is just better to just shut up. It is. I think sometimes it is just really just better to choose your battles. You got to really choose your battles at work. Because I'm learning, even though if you got a job and it's 10 things you don't like, 10 fucked up things, you can't complain about all 10 things every fucking day. You can't battle all 10 things every fucking day. So you have to learn to choose your battles.
But one thing about work, I always tell people this, and as a black man, I will never ever compromise when it comes to issues of race. Never. Okay. Never. I would never compromise that. I would never allow someone to belittle me, treat me differently.
True. Now, there's some non-negotiables you have when it comes to work.
Unequal access, not be equitable, not be equal. You're never going to get me to compromise.
I don't like jobs that try to make you choose work over family. Yeah. I don't like that.
Well, that's one of my things when I tell people, one of my big tenets is work-life balance. Because if a person is not, doesn't have everything straight with their life, they're not going to be a great employee. I've learned that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, guys, we talked about a lot when it comes to fighting fair, conflict. I hope that you can pull away from some of these tips. Like I said, conflict is needed to keep a healthy relationship, but you also got to go about it in a very healthy way. Last part, dessert, fair or foul, quickly. If you like it, it's fair. If you don't like it, it's foul. First thing, crumble cookies, fair or foul?
Fucking foul. That's Sonic cookies all day.
Yeah, I'm going to say that. Crumble cookies have good flavors, but I don't like the uncooked doughy taste.
Keep that shit.
Yeah, it make my stomach hurt. Second thing, new thing I've been seeing, women getting their eyebrows dyed, tinted. What do you think about that, fair or foul? So like if I want my shit brown, I can get brown dyed and then I have brown eyebrows. Fair or foul?
Motherfuckers just...
You know what? So I guess it's foul then.
So they gonna dye the eyebrows to match the pussy now. The fuck, man? These niggas
You know what? Yeah. Okay, so foul for him. All right, next one.
I ain't never met a nigga talking about, man, I want to hit her because they like, see how her eyebrows look, G? Now, as long as them motherfuckers not bushy and it's not that you ain't got that motherfucking unibrow.
Now, I'm ladies, don't get too crazy with this now. I don't want to see no Joker eyebrows like extra black. I don't want to see all that.
Just clown
keep it normal. All right. Shit. What about people who are putting up their Christmas trees and lights right now? Is that fair or foul? We're talking about right now. Not Thanksgiving.
I thought you weren't supposed to put that shit up until the day after Thanksgiving.
That's what I thought,
so
but
that's fine.
I see Christmas lights already in some neighborhoods. Stupid, man. All right, next one. Ugg boots. I've been seeing these ugly ass. Now, I like Ugg boots, but I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about when I say Ugg boots. Like them women that you seeing with them boots already from 2 seasons ago. Like,
oh, you mean the old?
Yes.
What about foul? Of course. Upgrade, baby.
Like, come on now. It's other boots besides.
They got to pay as you go.
It's other boots besides boots, y'all. Some of y'all need to let it go. Let it go.
I don't know what you talking. I don't wear that shit.
Last thing. Halloween just passed, and I've seen videos that were just fucking ridiculous. What about these parents who are dressing their kids in ridiculous costumes just for social media popularity, just for likes and things of that nature? Like, some kids ain't asking to be Kodak Black and Chucky and things, and like some kids ain't asking to be some shit that I see them in. What are your thoughts on that? Fair or foul?
Hey man, parents, as long as it's not, you do what you need to do. If you think that's being a good parent, I wouldn't do that shit. But hey, people, it's once again, social media is driving people's behavior. So
what if your child came to you and was like, "Hey, I want to dress like a white person. I want to be a white person for Halloween." What you gonna say?
Hell no, and then I'm gonna have a deeper conversation on why they want to do that. Is it to be a white person, or is it to be a doctor? Like, it's a deeper conversation that needs to be had from a parent. If my kid come to me and say they want to be a white person, what the fuck?
Or if you're a white parent and your kid say, "Hey, I want to do blackface for Halloween," I seen it. It looked fun. I want to do that.
Where you see that shit at? Because that shit's not right. Because that shit's not on you. What the shit was you watching?
Hey, this is my thing. You do what you do as a parent. Can't nobody tell you how to parent. But I have borderline seen some costumes that was just.
But how's that any different from a kid who wants to be a devil, or evil character?
The funny thing is, I ain't even seen no devil kids.
And they want to be Thanos. Thanos destroyed the whole world.
That's different. That's like a costume. But I'm just you just see some borderline. I ain't gonna lie. You just see some borderline kid costumes and actions behind certain stuff.
Yes, so it's weird. I think it's weird, but people do what they want to do with their kids.
Take them back to when you just bought the kids costumes and they put on a mask. You know, like our nephew. Everything just put on a mask.
Everything is for social media.
Yeah, just let them be a kid. Yeah. Don't have them with all that makeup on their face and wigs and all that. Like,
stupid shit.
Yeah. Well, Mr. D.O.C., I enjoyed this episode with you talking about conflict because, like I said, y'all, you do fight, but you gotta learn to fight fair.
No doubt.
Okay.
And come out. It ain't about winning or losing. At least in this situation.
Yes. So, any lasting things you got to say, sir?
No, just continue making it do what it do and hit that like and subscribe button, and I love you folks.
Subscribe. Peace out.